Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is your well-rounded math teacher, Mr. Picard. And today we're going to be working on some percents and some percent of change. One thing you're going to do when you're working with percents is you're going to also work with fractions. So we want to figure out how to find a percent given a fraction. And basically you just do this. Divide the numerator by the denominator. So if I had 8 out of 10, I'd take the numerator 8 and divide it by 10. On your calculator, it's just 8 divided by 10. You're going to get 0.8 as an answer. That's your decimal. To change it to a percent, you move the decimal twice, once, twice, put a little 0 in there, and that becomes 80%. Another thing, if you get goofed up with that, how to move the decimal, percent is per 100, so you could just multiply the 0.8 by 100 if you want to change the decimal to percent, and that'll still give you this 80% over here. So looking at number 1, if you received 21 of 24 on your last quiz, which is a pretty good score, what percentage of the questions did you answer correctly? Well, 21 over 24. I'm going to change this to a percent, but first I got to change it to a decimal. So on my calculator, I plug in 21 divided by 24. And you should get, what is it, 0.875. Now, one way you could do to change this decimal to a percent is multiply it by 100. Or if you know, just to move the decimal once, twice over, 2 times over, that's 87.5%. And I usually round it to the nearest tenth of a percent. So 87.5% is our answer here. Find a percent given a decimal, move the decimal 2 places to the right. We just talked about that. Or multiply the decimal by 100 to change it to a percent. So once again, let's say I had 0.24 as a decimal. That's actually 24%. 2 ways you could do it. Move decimal 2 places to the right, 1, 2, or take 0.24 and multiply it by 100. You're still going to get 24% either way. Express 0.0235 as a percent. Well, multiply it by 100. You're going to get 2.35%. Or move your decimal over twice like I just did right there. Now, usually we round our decimals to, if I was going to round this to the nearest percent, that's to the left of the decimal. This would just be 2%. But I like to say round it to the nearest tenth of a percent. That would be the 3 right here. Looking at the 5, that tells me to round up. I could say this is 2.4%. I would take either one of these answers, 2% or 2.4% for that matter. Okay, using the percent proportion to solve some of our problems. Is over of equals percent over 100. This is the percent proportion. Is our part of is our whole. So like I talked before, 8 over 10. Let's say I got 8 out of 10 on a quiz. 8 is the part of 10 the whole. There's 10 whole problems. And the part that I got right, I got 8 of them right. So this is like my is, and this is like my of. So this is how we're going to set some problems up in order to solve them. For example, what percent is 45 of 78? Now, I don't have any percent symbols anywhere in here. So the 45 is my part because it's connected to the word is, and 78 is my whole because it's connected to the word of. So I would, plugging this into the percent proportion here, I'd have 45 is part of 78. I don't know what my percent is, so I'm just going to put X there, all over 100. So if I cross multiply and divide this, basically 45 times 100, and then divide the whole thing by the other number that's in the problem, divided by 78. We should get, oh boy, 0.578. Or, moving my decimal over twice, 57.8%. 57.8%. Okay, that is number 3. Let's try number 4 here now. Move this over. What percent of 45 is 115? Now, of we're saying is our whole part, so that's 45, and is my small part. So setting it up as is over of equals percent over 100. The 45 is going to go on the bottom. Usually the bigger number goes on the bottom, but in this case it doesn't. Is my part, and once again we need a percent over 100. So basically it's 115 over 45 is like my percent over 100. So cross multiplying and dividing this, you're going to get 2.556. Moving my decimal over 2 places, I'm going to get 255.6%. So it's a very high percentage. Well, 115 is more than 45. 255% more. So that's how that problem works. Let's go back and find this other problem. There we go. 12 is 15% of what number? Is over of equals percent over 100. Is actually 12. So I'm going to put 12 in here. Of is actually, we don't know what of is. We know the percent because it has a percent symbol, so that's 15. That's why it goes right there. 12 is connected is, so that's going to be my part. I'll plug X in here. Cross multiplying and dividing this. So I get 12 times 100 divided by 15. That's going to give me X is equal to 80. So 12 is 15% of 80. 12 is 15% of 80. Percent of change. Okay. Percent of increase and percent of decrease. Basically, percent of change is the amount something changes. That's what we're looking for. And we're looking for the percent of that. So the way we're going to do it is this. Take your original amount, and that always goes on the bottom, and then take your original amount and the new amount and subtract them, and that would be your difference, and that's what's going to go on top. So I'm looking at this problem right here. Okay, the number of students at Franklin High School increased from 840 to 910 over a 5-year period. What is the percent of change? Well, it's going to be change over original, and that's what we got to work with. So the original amount is 840. That's smaller than the new amount, which is 910. So 840 is going to go right here. Now I'm not going to use this 910 in my equation or my fraction here per se. What I'm going to do is take 910 and subtract 840 from it. When I do that, I get 70. This is my change, or my difference, whatever you want to call it. That's what goes on top over here. Divide 70 by 840, and you end up getting this, 0.083. That's my decimal. What would my percent be? Well, move it over to, or multiply it by 100, whichever you want, and I get 8.3%. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys try number 2 here. It says a TV was originally $400, but now is $345. What is the percent decrease in the TV? So you guys can hit pause now and try this on your own. Remember, it's change over original. And go ahead and hit pause and try it. And the actual answer is, you should have gotten 13.75% or 13.8%. And that is our lesson for today. I will work with you guys a little bit tomorrow. Have a good one.